I got laid off on January 17th of 2018. The week prior, I had gotten my first major contract to speak for an entire school district, a college, a juvenile detention center, and a church. And I came back home with $12,500.
Hey, let's go. He is a global motivator, mindset disruptor, and a best-selling author, talking on stages all over the world, inspiring millions of people, impacting so many lives, and just being a beacon of hope for everybody.
Don't let the dude in the wheelchair beat you, because it's not a good look, right? I literally lost my ability to walk from one day to the next. And I'm in a dark place now, and I'm thinking, man, what the heck am I gonna do now? And all my dreams were shattered, bro. The doctors told my family that I would be in a wheelchair by the age of 15, and they weren't even expecting me to live past my teenage years. This year, I celebrated my 47th birthday. We have the potential, we have the ability to do great and mighty things. We just have to apply ourselves. I walk my talk. That's coming from a guy in a wheelchair who can't walk, and I'm gonna walk my talk until the day I die.
I won't give up, I won't give in, and I won't stop until I win.
Welcome to the winning circle. Winning here. We all winning here. We all winning here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Legacy and Billions. Today we have a very unique special guest, as we always do, but this guy right here, his name is Jose Flores. He is a global motivator, mindset disruptor, and a best-selling author whose message is to not let your struggle become your standard. He's well known to speaking across the world, talking about leadership, mind management, and how to create a winning culture. He's a living miracle and somebody who inspires me. And so I want to introduce you guys, Mr. Jose Flores. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me and let me hang out with your audience, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. It's an absolute pleasure, man. We met through one of the greatest speakers of all time, Les Brown.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's my coach, my mentor, my pops, man. And we'll probably get into that as we go along in the story. But, man, he's been a tremendous blessing in my life, brother.
100%, man.
Yeah.
So why don't you share with the audience a little bit about, man, what is your story? How did you get here? What made you step into that greatness that you have to now talking on stages all over the world, inspiring millions of people, impacting so many lives, and just being a beacon of hope for everybody? Tell us a little bit about how you got started on this journey.
Yeah, man. You know, it's like you said, I'm a living miracle, bro, because, you know, I was born with a neuromuscular disease called spinal muscular atrophy. And basically what that does is the older I get, the weaker my muscles get. So the doctors told my family that I would be in a wheelchair by the age of 15, and they weren't even expecting me to live past my teenage years. But the good news is that this year I celebrated my 47th birthday. And so we all know that, you know, God's plan is higher than our plan, and he had a greater plan for me, man. And I'm still here, you know, working the vision, functioning in my calling. But, you know, it wasn't easy because I knew I had this condition from birth. And then as I got older, my body started getting weaker. But I had a great childhood. I was able to walk and run and do all the amazing things that young kids do. But then when I got in high school, that's when my body started giving up on me. And this disease really started to take its toll on my body. So it just used to start to become difficult from doing just basic daily activities like bending over to put my pants on or tie my shoe or lifting my arms above my head to put my shirt on. Just stuff that we all take for granted. We don't even really think twice about doing. We just do it, right? And so those type of things started to become difficult for me. And, you know, then I moved from the Bronx, New York. I graduated high school, moved from the Bronx, New York to Florida when I was 22. And shortly after that, I lost my ability to walk.
Wow.
And so I'm here, I'm excited. I'm in a new state, new opportunities, new environment. And I literally lost my ability to walk from one day to the next. And I'm in a dark place now, and I'm thinking, man, what the heck am I gonna do now? I'm gonna be living with my parents the rest of my life. They're gonna be my caregivers. And all my dreams were shattered, bro.
Time out. Let me ask you a question. When you found out in high school, as a young kid who wants to play sports, who has dreams, who have goals, wants to go to college, wants to date women, wants to live life, and you hear this news, what was that feeling like?
You know, I already knew before high school that I had this condition, but I never really thought about it. I always tried to tuck it in the back of my mind because I didn't want to think about it. It wasn't affecting me at the time. But then when in high school, when it started affecting me, that's when I was like, I'm trying to figure it out on my own, in my own head. I'm not really talking to my family or friends about it because I didn't want them to treat me any differently. I didn't want them to know, like, yo, my body's giving up on me and I can't do the things that I used to be able to do anymore. I didn't want them to look at me differently. You know, I was afraid of maybe losing some friends because they're like, oh, nah, he's disabled. Or, you know, people used to call me cripple when I was younger. It was tough, bro. You know what I mean? But I always had a supportive family. You know, my mom and dad never really treated, my siblings never treated me differently. And they always was like, man, you know what? You could do whatever you put your mind to, man. Whatever you put your mind to. That condition you have, it doesn't affect your voice and your mind. And they said that when I was younger, but it never really hit me until I got older in life, where I was working in corporate America for 20 years. That's how I met my wife. And it was because I was like, you know, I was always focusing on the things that I couldn't do, the things that I didn't have, the abilities that I was losing. And so I got to a point where I was like getting sick and tired, right? We always hear like getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was like, well, all right, Jose, well, we already know what you can't do. What can you do? All right, let's focus on that. And I was like, it popped into my head, you can use your voice and your mind. And so I literally just went, I was at work one day. I was already frustrated with the job I was living because I felt like I was in the rat race. You know, you just wake up, go to work, 8 hours, you come home, you do your thing with your kids or your wife, you eat, you go to sleep, wake up, do it. And it's the same thing over and over and over. And I was getting tired of it, bro, to be honest with you. But
one of the things I want to add in there to the audience right now, something powerful that Jose just mentioned, is where is your focus? Are you focused on the things that you don't have? Are you focused on things that you can't control? Are you focused on what's missing? Because if you're focused on those things, you're going to feel those emotions and you're going to be in a stressed, negative, frustrated, depressed state, because where your focus goes, energy flows.
That's right.
But as you shift that focus into what you can control, into what you do have, into what you can do, then you open up your neurology to all the possibilities, and you're a perfect example of focusing on what was right.
Exactly.
And so continue shedding a light on that.
So, you know, when I finally figured out, like, man, you can use your voice and your mind, I literally went on YouTube and just started typing in motivational speakers. And I never looked into any of that. Like, I was never into personal development or anything like that, but I started like getting bombarded with a plethora of individuals, you know, Tony Robbins and E.T. and Inky Johnson and Les Brown and the Jim Rohns and all of these amazing individuals. And I went down this rabbit hole of personal development. I was like, yo, this is what I loved. I love this so much. I was like, and if these guys are just using their minds and their voices and they're impacting lives and making millions of dollars and leaving a legacy, I was like, I can do the same thing. I have a great story. I have a powerful story. I have a powerful mind and I have a powerful voice just like them. The only thing is I have to do it from a sitting position.
And look at that. That's another point right there. Did you just notice that shift in your physiology, in your excitement and your passion and the love that you have for expressing for self-development?
Yeah.
What changed there was he developed a compelling vision. He got excited about his future. He found something that he became obsessed and passionate about and developed a vision. He used his imagination to imagine himself being that person. If I can make millions of dollars, if I can impact lives, I can live a legacy, then why not me, right?
That's
like
right.
Les Brown says, it's possible,
It's
right?
possible.
It's possible.
You gotta be
And so you
hungry.
took the rein, you took the reins on that, and you freaking you dived into personal development. So should continue to shed light on that.
Yeah, so you know, I went down this rabbit hole of personal development and just like this rediscovering myself, rediscovering my skills and my talents and my abilities. I started reading books, and then I said, well, most of these guys are authors as well. They started writing books, and if anybody knows me, who's out there, knows that I hated reading, I hated writing. I didn't enjoy any of that, right? I don't think most people do, right? But I knew that if I wanted to get to a certain level, I had to follow the footsteps of the people who have already gone before me. And so I was like, you know what? I want to write a book. And so I started writing a book, and it became a #1 bestseller. Les Brown wrote the foreword to it, and it's just been like these little gradual steps. You know, we hear that cliche statement is like leaders are readers and readers are leaders. And I didn't understand that concept until I started putting it into play, right? And so just reading books about, you know, these different great people who've done amazing things. And I'm like, man, they're killing it and they're doing it and they're just using their minds and their voices and their creativity. And so I was like, it's time for me to step it up a notch, right? And so in 2018, the company that I was working for like 7 years,
So you were working corporate America.
Yeah.
And you just discovered personal development. You found Les Brown, Tony Robbins, ETs. You got inspired. You developed a compelling vision. You got excited about your future. And then you saw something more for yourself.
Yeah.
While you were working there. And so in 2018, was that a pivotal moment where you said, hey, I think I'm going to get on my first stage. I think that I'm going to do my first event. Like, what was that process like?
Well, I was already in 2015. I had started a business because I knew I wanted to become a professional speaker, right? And so in 2015, I just took a leap of faith and I started a company. God gave me a vision. I woke up in the morning. I was telling my wife about it. I was like, look, I don't know how we're going to do this. We didn't know nothing about business. I didn't know about taxes or LLCs or S Corps or any of that stuff. And so I literally just started. My wife and I were literally up until like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just watching YouTube video after YouTube video, just like educating ourselves and learning while we were both still working corporate America. So that's why I'm saying, if you guys are watching this, there's no excuse for why you can't reach the level of success that you want to reach. You just got to be willing and determined and committed to put that work in. And so that's that's one of the things about me, Chris, is that I always felt like because of this condition, I always had to work harder to prove myself to people. Like to prove myself to people and let them know that I wasn't defined by this chair. Like I have the smarts, I have the wisdom, I'm sharp, I'm witty, I'm creative, I'm educated, I'm intelligent. And you know, all of the, I was fighting against all the stigmatisms that this chair brings. And so it got to a point in my life where I felt like I had to prove myself to people to just show them that I am capable, that I am competent. But then it got to a point where I wanted to prove myself to people. Like I wanted to show people like, yo, and I said this when at the event, I was like, yo, don't let the dude in the wheelchair beat you because it's not a good look, right? So I say that jokingly, but I'm serious. Like I want to show people like, look, we have the capacity, we have the potential, we have the ability to do great and mighty things. We just have to apply ourselves. And once you get to that level of thought, right, that thought process and that train of thought and that state of thinking, knowing that whatever you put your mind to, if you want it, you got to go get it. And you got to, you know, like you only eat what you kill type of thing mentality, right? And so I was like, look, in 2018, the job I was working for, I was already speaking on stages. I was like, not stages, but I was speaking at middle schools, high schools, stuff like that.
This was what year?
This was like in 2015, 2016.
That's when you had opened the LLC and you made a decision, I'm going in.
And I started little by little, right? So I would say 20, I opened in 2015. Probably like 2016, 2017, I started doing middle schools and boys and girls clubs and stuff like that just to kind of get my feet wet and practice my content. And then in 2008, and I had already written my book. My book dropped in 2017. So in 2018, the company I was working for, they laid me off. Me and like 20 other people. They were doing like budget cuts, so they laid me and 20 other people off.
What was supposed to hurt you made you stronger.
Bro, and you know what's funny about that, bro, is that when I got the phone call from my manager to tell me that they were laying me off, I felt a peace about it. And I hung up the phone. I had them on speaker, so my wife was listening to everything because it was like we were both working from home at the time. And so I had him on speaker and my wife was listening and she was like, you know what, babe? That year, that was January. That was the first year, bro, of 2018. I got laid off on January 17th of 2018. The week prior, I had gotten my first major contract. I flew to Vicksburg, Mississippi to speak for an entire school district, a college, a juvenile detention center, and a church. And I came back home in 2 days with $12,500.
Hey, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? That was my first big home run.
Yeah.
And so I was excited. I was like, my goodness.
And going back into that time, what was that feeling like?
Bro, let me tell you something. When my wife and I, we did all of that in one day. I spoke at 6 schools in one day, a juvenile detention center, and a church at night in one day. The next day, we flew back home because we were still both working. So we were taking like PTO to go do that real quick. And so when we were at the airport, I looked at my cell phone and I got a message from one of these high school kids. And he was like, yo, Mr. Flores, you coming to my school today. He was like, you don't know this, but I woke up this morning and I was planning on harming myself. Wow. And taking my life. And because you showed up and you shared your story, I chose not to. And so I showed that to my wife and I was like, yo, babe, we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And if we flew all the way to Vicksburg, Mississippi, which nobody knows about Vicksburg, Mississippi, literally in the woods. If God took us all the way to Vicksburg, Mississippi,
Jesus,
for this one life, then it's a job well done. And so when we were flying back home, it was night. You know how in the nighttime you see all the little lights on in the city? And my wife looks at me and she was like, babe, do you realize that you just impacted an entire city? Wow. That right there, bro, was the moment in my life where I said, this could work. This is what I love to do. This is what God is, I feel like God was calling me to do that. And That was in 2018. The next week, when I come back from that event, they laid me off, which was kind of like perfect timing because at least I had this $12,500 that I could stretch out for a couple months until I figured it out. So I was like, man, I could either go and get another job very easily because I have a ton of experience, or I can give this entrepreneurial thing a shot and see what happens. And so I chose the latter, man, and I spread my wings, and here we are 6 years later, bro, doing it full time. Even through the pandemic, God provided. I was doing virtual stuff, and God continues to provide, man. As long as I always have this saying, my pastor's always saying, the vision works as long as you work the vision. You got to work the vision. And if you keep working the vision, our favorite book, right? The Holy Bible says that don't grow weary in well-doing because you'll reap a harvest in due season if you don't give up. And that's the part right there that I think a lot of people miss, is like the giving up part.
And what verse is that?
I'm not exactly sure what verse
I want to look that one up.
But look it up. It's like, don't grow weary in well-doing because in due season you will reap a harvest if, this is the condition, right? Whenever you see if, that's a condition, if you don't give up. So if you don't give up, man, it might take 2 years, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, it could take 15 years. But if you're built to last and you don't give up, you will reap the harvest, right? The seeds that you've been planting will grow. It's just the law of universe, bro. You sow the seeds and the seeds will grow, right? And sometimes you don't get to nurture the seeds or see them grow right away, but right, what's the last thing to grow on a tree?
The fruit.
The fruit, man.
Hey, let's go.
And that takes time. And so when you can understand that concept that you just got to keep, bro, I ain't even gonna lie. I felt like giving up a couple times, right? This entrepreneurial game, it ain't no joke, right? It's not for the faint of heart. And I felt like giving up because I'm like, man, like you start questioning yourself, doubting yourself, like, man, am I really called to do this? Like you start asking God, like, God, this is what you want me to do? Or am I making a mistake here? Because I'm putting in all this work. I'm sending emails, I'm making phone calls, I'm going to networking events, I'm speaking at stage, I'm trying to do everything I could do, but nothing is working. I don't see the fruit. And I just, like, every time I felt like giving up, man, something would pop off, like, here's a gig, $5,000 or $2,000 or $500. And I'm like, all right, God, like every time I feel like giving up, you're like, all right, here's a little something for you. Just keep going. Here's a little something, keep going. And so here I am, man, keeping on, you know what I mean?
So what drove you, to get through these tough times? What was that why? What drove you to accomplish these dreams that you had?
Man, and I might get emotional again about this,
brother, bring it on, man. Drew will get you some tissue, whatever you need, bro. Pour your heart onto the people, man. They need to feel your energy, bro.
Let me tell you something, bro. Not only because it'd be a smack in the face to God by me not operating in my calling, but because we already know that's an automatic given, right? We want to honor God, we want to make him proud of us. But my dream, bro, in life, I had dreams of being successful, the cars and the nice house. Like that's almost everybody's dream, right? We want to be successful. That's what we think success is. But what my main dream was deep down in my heart, bro, was wondering if a woman was ever gonna love me like this. Or if I was going to be able to have children or own a home or drive a car or just, live at that point, I just wanted to live a basic life because according to what the doctor said, 19 was my cutoff date, but here I am still kicking. So I just want to be able to contribute to society and live an okay life, right? An average life. And bro, my why, going back to your question, is my wife. When you see my wife and you know my wife and you met my wife, a lot of people meet my wife. She's behind the scenes a lot. She's like the mastermind of the company, right? She's always giving me the creative ideas. But what people don't see is what happens behind closed doors. Like those times where I got to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I got to wake her up. Now I'm 6 foot. My wife is 5'2". And I'm 155 pounds, basically dead weight. But she got to lift me up like a bear hug, put me in my chair, take me to the bathroom, wipe me up. Like that's the stuff people don't hear. Like you don't talk about that. And I used to be embarrassed and ashamed to talk about that because like as a man, you got to talk about somebody else wiping you up, cleaning you up, giving you a bath, getting you dressed like a baby. You know what I'm saying? So I never really wanted to talk about that. But I got to a point in my life where I'm like, I need to talk about this because this is what the people need to understand and see so they could put things into perspective. Like if you're not if like I tell people all the time, I went to my brother's basketball game the other day and they lost and the whole team was like, I'm like, bro, it's a game. You get to go back home and wipe your own butt. Like, think about that, bro. Like, you mad and you sad and you moping around because you lost a game. Meanwhile, I can't even wipe my own butt. And I'm still smiling.
Perspective.
Yeah, it's perspective, bro. It's perspective. And so going back to that, man, it's like the reason I wanted to do this is because I told myself that I wanted to be able to generate my own economy to be able to provide for my wife and my children. So that eventually one day I can retire my wife from working her full-time job so that we can work the full-time job that God created us to work. And I believe that that's coming we're getting very close to that. We're not there yet, but we're getting very close to that. And little by little, man, year after year, God just keeps on opening the doors and bringing people into my sphere of influence and people that are motivating me, inspiring me, and people from back in the day like Drew, who like now I'm here now. Like, who would have thought back in the day when I met Drew in 10X GrowthCon, when we were both just trying to figure it out, come up, and we were brand new in the game, and now here we are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In one of the hottest joints in Miami.
Yes, sir.
Killing it, you know?
Shout out to the Move Miami. Drew doing some big things up in here, man.
You
Super
know?
grateful for you, bro. We appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, man. That's a fact, you know? But again, it's like 6 degrees of separation type of thing. Like, I didn't know you showed up to the event, I met you knew Drew, and now we here, you know? And so that's what I've seen God do in my life over and over and over, bro. Like, even with the story of Les Brown, I kind of shared a little bit, but, you know, people would give anything to be in the position that I'm in with the relationship that I have with him, you know? Like, I got him on my favorites to call, you know? Like, hey, Pops, what's up? What we doing? You got an event? Let's go, you know? And the fact that he saw me one day at an event, because I was hungry.
Gotta be hungry,
right? And so he saw me at an event. He saw my hunger. He saw the passion in my eyes. He felt the energy signature that he talks about a lot. And he put me under his wing, man. He put me under his wing, and he was like, yo, I'm going to help you become great. I'm going to help you retire your wife. We're going to do events together. We're going to do this. We're going to do things together. We're going to work on this, because I see something. Like, he's always like, he's always like, this. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story. And I was thinking, right? So it's like one of those type of things.
Sounded just like him.
You know, and I mean, I've heard it a million times, but it's so powerful when you hear something like that. Right? You think it's like, it's just a saying that somebody has, but they're speaking life into you. They're speaking life into your situation, and it may not look like they're speaking life right now, because your life may look dead right now. Right? Your life might look dried up right now. But if you have people that are in your corner, that are believing in you, that are speaking life into you, that are praying over you, that are wanting to see you win, eventually it's going to happen if you don't give up, right? And so that's one of the things that I always had in my mind. Like, you know, you'll see me, I have the shirts, and I always say this, I said it at the event, you know, I won't give up, I won't give in, and I won't stop until I win. That's like my key. Like, even my podcast is I won't stop until I win.
Hit him one more time with that one right there.
I won't give up, I won't give in, and I won't stop until I win.
Yes, sir.
And every time I feel down and out, bro, you know, I'm human. Yeah, Les Brown calls me the motivator to the motivators, because I motivate him, you know what I'm saying? And so to be able to carry that accolade is incredible. But I'm human. I have my days too where I'm not 100%, or I'm not motivated, or I'm not inspired, and I'm feeling down and out, or I may be having my own little pity party because something I try to do didn't work out for me, or whatever the case may be. But one thing I realize is that it's okay to have your pity parties. It's okay to have your moment, but just make sure that that's all it is. It's just a moment. Like, don't let that carry on to the next day, because then that can turn into weeks and then months and years, and now you're in this hole that's impossible, that it seems impossible to climb out of. So I have a level of awareness now that I understand when I'm feeling these things, or when I'm thinking these things, and I know how to snap out of it fairly quickly now, because I won't give up, I won't give in, and I won't stop until I win. So when I'm going through my days, that's what I say to myself, man. I'll literally go in my bathroom with tears in my eyes, and I'm like, you better not give up, you better not give in, and you better not stop until you win. Like, I'm talking to myself in the third person, like it's like two people in the room. And I'm encouraging myself, and I'm motivating myself. And yo, bro, I mean, negative and positive cannot coexist in the same space. And so when I'm feeling negative or I'm having those negative thoughts or those moments, I'm like speaking, life into my situation, into my current moment, what I'm experiencing. I'm speaking life into that. And you'd be surprised, man, how quickly that negative turns into a positive. Like quickly, bro. And you continue to practice that over the years. And now when things happen, right? Because life is going to happen. We're going to walk this walk, and this walk is going to be tough. It's going to be hard. But when you get to those tough and hard moments, you got to know how to talk yourself out of it. You got to know how to talk yourself out of it. So it's not only about, walking the walk. Sometimes you got to talk the talk before you can walk the walk. And so I tell people that I walk my talk. And and when you think about that, that's coming from a guy in a wheelchair who can't walk. But I'm telling people I can walk my talk, and I'm going to walk my talk until the day I die.
Come on,
Are you
man.
going to walk with me? Like, we could walk together if you want. You know what I mean? I could mentor you. I could coach you. I could help you get to that next level, whatever that looks like for you, because I've done it. We were kind of talking about off camera before, like, once you get to that level where you're trying to figure out how you could feed yourself and how you're going to eat, you get to a point where now you want to help other people around you eat and help them figure it out. How can we all eat together, right? Because I hate when I hear people, bro, it's a pet peeve of mine. I hate when I hear successful people say it's lonely at the top. That's a pet peeve of mine. Another pet peeve of mine is when I hear people say self-made. It's like, come on, bro. You made yourself?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
You got to where you are you made all the phone calls. You made all of this. You wrote all
Nobody does something great by themselves.
Nobody, bro. Like, you don't do everything by yourself, right? You may do a lot in the beginning, but even at that, you got to hire somebody to record the podcast, somebody to edit something. So you didn't do it by yourself, right? So those are just two little pet peeves of mine. I'm just going on my little rant real quick. But, when you get to the point where you get to the top, it's not lonely if you're bringing people with you. If you got people that have been walking with you, rubbing elbows, going through the struggles, going through the challenges, going through the situations, and then you're encouraging one another. That's why I love the Bible when it says iron sharpens iron. When I'm feeling down, I call Les Brown. You know what I'm saying? I could call different people in my network that I look up to, that inspire me, that motivate me, and I can help. I'd be like, yo, bro, I'm going through it, and I just need some encouragement right now, bro. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what's lacking in our society. We live in a society where everything needs to look clean and neat and beautiful and pretty and perfect. Yeah. And you have to be flawless with no blemish, no marks, no imperfections. And I think that's what stops people from reaching breakthrough. Because you have to be authentic with yourself, bro, and other people, because you're not gonna know if I'm struggling or going through a problem unless I tell you. Yeah. Right? But once I tell you, that gives me freedom. And now I have a partner that's standing with me, praying for me, interceding for me, encouraging me, checking in on me. Yo, how you doing, bro? I just want to make sure you're good. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about earlier with how I met Drew and all of that. I haven't even spoken to him. He disappeared. He went ghost. He went dark for like 2 years to get his life together, came back, and he was like King Kong banging his chest. You know what I mean? Like, I'm back, baby.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And then he deposits that into my account, and I'm like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
I ain't even have to tell him I was going through something. He saw it on my Instagram when I put the picture of my wife and I in the hospital.
Wow.
That's the type of people I want to be around. That I don't even have to call you to tell you I'm going through something. You know, because you see what I'm putting out there. And you're like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I know this can help you. Yeah. And you help out, bro. And that's the type of people I want in my life, bro.
Authenticity is such a superpower, man.
I think that's the real legacy that leads to billions.
Ooh. Say that one again right there,
I think
man.
that's the real legacy that leads to billions. You know what I mean?
Keeping it 100% authentic with the people, man.
100%, bro. You have to. I told my wife that, man. We know, Drew, me, you, Drew, we know people. Yeah. Who look like they live in that life and are like barely holding on to the rope. Yeah. Like they're like barely float, like the nose is out of the water. Yeah. But they want to look good for the people that don't even care about them. Yeah. Right? I told my wife I never want to be that type of dude. Like, I don't want to walk around talking about like I have millions when I really don't. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with people seeing the real me, put in the work to get to the millions. You know what I mean? I have assets close to $1 million at this point, right? Bro, my situation, you look at from the outside in, it's like, bro, you should be on government assistance, like getting your disability checks, you know what I mean? Your EBT card and all of that. And not that there's anything wrong with that for the people who need it. I definitely feel like that's a service that is needed when you can be used when you need it. But, for the people that make that a lifestyle, like, oh, I'm just going to live off the government like this. The able-bodied people can work, smart, can do their thing, and that's a choice, right?
100%.
And so, man, I'm just grateful that, God just turned my not only my mind around, but my life around, and that I was willing, you know what I mean? I was willing to yield. Because we got to be honest with ourselves. We are like a self-centered society. We're selfish. It's all
Very
about me.
egocentric.
How can I? Yeah. And so it takes a lot for you to be obedient and yield to the things that may not feel good, or to the things that don't make sense, or to the things that don't look like they should look like, right? Because I don't look like I should look, right? You think about people you see in the wheelchairs. A lot of them are, at home with their family. They don't want to get out. They can't get out. They can't afford this. They can't afford that. And so I'm blessed, bro. You know what I mean? I'm blessed, but I want to show people that the same way I'm blessed, you can be blessed too. The same way I change my mind, you can change your mind. The same way I change my behavior, you can change your behavior. You know what I mean? The same way I change my circle of friends, you can change your circle of friends. And you just have to be a change agent, bro. Change the way you think. You change the way you behave. And your actions will start to fall in line with what your new belief systems are, and your goals and your visions, like we've been talking about. And you put your head down, man. Put in the work and execute. Set the goals. Check them off. Start checking them off. That builds momentum. And that momentum is going. You figure out ways how to keep that momentum going. How can I get involved? How can I do this? How can I do that? And you keep showing up for life, man.
Amen to that, man. That was so freaking powerful right there. You're dropping so much wisdom, man.
I know that was long. I felt like that was long-winded, bro.
You went off, brother. And how was that process for you in the changing of the mindset and being able to control that state? What was that process for you in the beginning?
So, that's a good question. In the beginning, I knew what I wanted. I had a vision of where I wanted to go, what I wanted to be, and where I wanted to be, and who I wanted to bring with me, right? I was doing this for my fam, my wife, and for the most part, my wife, because she's the one who's in the trenches with me day in and day out, all day. We're together 24/7, bro, my wife and I. Except for now, there's like certain times where we can't be together, but for the most part, we work together.
23/7.
Yeah, 23/7, exactly. But the thing is that was my why. That was the catalyst that catapulted me to like go to the next level. Like, yo, I got to do this for me, right? But I want to really do it for my wife, man. Because my wife is like, she's a rare breed, bro. She's like, they don't make them like that no more.
It's a one of one, man.
It's a one of one, bro. And my wife is like, she's like I felt like God knew that everything I was going to go through in life, he needed to bring me the perfect helpmate.
Literally, man.
And she is literally the perfect helpmate for me, bro. We cry together, we laugh together. When I'm down, she's up. When she's down, I'm up. And I thank God that we're never down at the same time, because I don't even know what that would look like. But there's always a way that through these seasons, my wife and I are going to be celebrating 17 years of marriage this year.
Congrats.
We've been together for over 20. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And so, because let's be honest, the reality is this is not a line of women saying like, I want to marry a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'll take on that responsibility, right?
Yeah.
They're not out there like that, right? I mean, I think I look a little good,
so
right?
Blessed, man.
I'm
You're
cute, I look
so
all right,
blessed.
but I'm blessed, bro. And so the fact that my wife, she's with me for me, with everything that comes along with me, and she's still there, and our marriage is thriving, bro. And that's not even a front. Like, we're thriving in our marriage. Like, do we have our ups and downs? Yeah, but for the most part, we thrive. And the reason is because we always, from day one, bro, we kept God in the center, bro. And that's the key, bro. If you guys are watching this, listen to this. If you got in a relationship, God is the masterpiece and should be your centerpiece.
Amen.
And if he's not, then that's probably why you're struggling.
Hey.
And it's a reality, bro.
Keeping it real, yeah.
And that's a concept that not a lot of people understand or even agree with, and that's okay, If you want to know more, you can reach out to me. They can reach out to you. I'm more than happy to share the good news. You know what I mean? And it's a fact,
Let's
bro.
go, man.
That's a fact. That's one of the things my wife loves about me. Like, I'm not afraid to wear my faith on my sleeve.
Yeah.
And show people the love of Christ.
Yeah.
I don't got to be out there like, you're going to hell if you do this. Like, God just says, let my light shine in you and through you, and I'll do the rest. And that's how I live, bro.
Amen.
I let God's light shine in me and through me and on me, and people see the glow, bro.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I command
That's
presence.
a fact.
You know what I mean? It is. It's a reality.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that, but God has a way of making, right? He's like, I make the
God
weak
has a way
shame
of
the
making
strong.
the way.
Yeah, of course. He's the way maker. And so when you understand that concept, bro, life becomes a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because now you know you have a fallback guy who always got your back, who's gonna never leave you or forsake you, who's gonna always be there, always wants your best interest at hand. And when you could grab a hold of that, man, that's what keeps us moving, man. That's what keeps us moving through life when things aren't happening the way we want it to happen.
Amen, brother. I respect you so much, brother. And listen, so how important was it for you to have a coach like Les Brown to come in and really help you transform your career, your mindset, your voice?
My life.
How important was that?
Bro, it was critical. I think like if I didn't meet Les, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Eventually, that was like, I might have been here, but it probably would have been taking longer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's why we get
You know
coaches.
what I tell a lot of people? It's like, yeah, I'm 100% sure you're going to figure this thing out. But how long is it going to take you to actually figure it out and get the answers? So that's what a mentor does. He condenses that time frame, which is what Les Brown did for you.
Absolutely. 1,000%, bro. And that's why it's important. Like every coach has a coach, right? We hear that every coach has a coach. You have to have somebody who's way ahead of you that can show you the way, right? That can show you what pitfalls to avoid, what speed bumps to avoid. You know, like don't go down this street because this street is full of all of this, right? You want to go this way. And so when you have that privilege of having a coach or a mentor in your life that can guide you, then you get there a lot faster. Obviously, we all know that. We get there a lot faster. And not only do we get there faster, but we fast forward our season.
Acceleration.
You skyrocket, bro.
Yeah.
You skyrocket. And so it was a blessing for me, bro. Like not only has he been a blessing to me and my wife and our family, but you know, he's there for me. Like he's literally like my father, bro. Like a father figure to me. Like I call him.
He's a spiritual father to many people.
Yeah.
When I met him, I saw that he was.
Absolutely.
And I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
But there's certain people, bro, that he has a little special something for. And like a little favoritism.
Yeah.
I think I like to say I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you see how people, they hate on that. Like they hate that they're not getting the attention that I get and they feel that they should get. And I'm like, hey, favor's not fair, bro. Favor is not fair. And so you can't worry about what other people are doing, right? And so the fact that I can call him when I need anything, bro. And he tells me all the time, call me if you need anything. Call me if you need anything. That's what I'm here for. Call me if you... And he's helped me a couple times, bro. When I was in a little pickle, he helped me out a couple times. He's opened doors for me. He's made connections with me. Gave me contacts. You know, so many things, bro. And it's just, it's a blessing when, like I said, you can have somebody like that in your corner who's there for you, who has no agenda because he doesn't need my resources or my finances. He's already made it to like he's in his pinnacle, right? He's there already. And
he's in the throne.
Yeah, he's in the throne, exactly. So the fact that he's there helping me this is like the theme that we've been talking about. Like when you get there, you help other people get there. And you help other people get there and you help other and that's like how it should be. That's how we should live our lives. It shouldn't be no hate. You know, I feel like I have one of my friends, Ray, shout out Ray if you're watching this, but he's always saying like, we're not here to compete with one another. We're here to complete one another.
Ooh,
and I
so
like
good.
that because when you think about that, it's like whatever you may be lacking, maybe I'm strong in, right? Maybe you have weak parts that I'm strong in, or he's weak and I'm strong, or vice versa, or whatever the case may be. But if we can use our strengths together and we can complete like different projects, different visions, different goals, different ambitions, you know what I mean? And we can lock arms and go in the same direction together, and we'll weather the storm together. And so I think that a lot of people are always competing, like, oh, I want to be better than you, or, I want to have more than you. And that's one thing, bro, for me, Chris, to be honest with you, that I removed from my mind several years ago.
Wow.
And there's such a freedom in that because now you can be your authentic self. Like, I don't have to be like somebody I want people to think I am.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have a perception about me.
Yeah.
I want you to know me.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it's so liberating, bro, because
I can feel that, man.
Bro,
that is so good.
You don't have to lie. You don't have to fake the funk. You don't have to front. You don't have to, worry about who's around or what to say or how to act because you're you. I'm like, the way I am here, I'm here at my church. I'm here at my house. I'm here at a speaking event. I'm here in front of the president. I'm here in front of the janitor of the building. Like, it's me. What you see is what you get. And it's because I've been through so much, bro. Like, when you feel like you've lost your dignity, bro, that's like a low that a lot of people don't experience. And as a man, when you have to depend on another man or woman for your dignity, bro.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm the way I am, bro. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, if I have to have somebody clean my butt as a grown man, there's nothing else that can embarrass me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's
So
nothing else out there that
blessed,
can
bro.
embarrass me, that can shame me, right? So it's like, if I can power through that and develop the mindset that says, hey, yo, this is how I have to live. I mean, I can't help it, but I'm not going to hide it either. It's like, it is what it is. It's freeing, bro.
Yeah.
Because now I don't have to be nervous or worried or scared about who am I around, who do I have to explain this to, or whatever the case may be. I'm like, hey, yo, this is how I am, bro. If you want to help me, help me. I appreciate your help. I'm grateful. But if this is too much for you, I understand that too. I'm not going to judge you for or treat you any differently, because everybody's thinking differently, right?
100%.
But I'm just me, bro.
100%, man. I love you, bro. You are a
Thanks, man.
beacon of
Love you too,
light,
bro.
bro. You're bringing the heat today, man. I love it. And so one of the things I'm curious about is your wife. How did you meet your wife? How did you know she was the one? Did she know she was the one for you? That's a 101, man. That's a story I want to hear. I'm sure they want to hear.
Yeah.
But I've seen the way that you guys live your lives on Instagram. You guys are Bonnie and Clyde, peanut butter to your jelly. You guys are together 24/7, right? Because the hour that we have together, I stole it from her. But if not, you'd be with her. And so how did that even happen? Because that was the thought that you had. You were like, man, am I ever going to be loved? You know, the two biggest fears that we have as humans is, are we ever going to be enough? And are we ever going to be loved? And so I'm sure you dealt with those two fears.
Absolutely.
And you were questioning, like, is it possible for me to have a family? Is it possible for me to have a home? Is it possible for me to get married? Who's going to love me? You know? And then by God's grace, you meet this woman. How in the world did that happen?
Yeah, bro. You know, and it's a great question, and everybody asks us that. It's like, it's funny because when I go to events, I always give a few moments to shout my wife out. I have her stand up and I honor her. And then, you know, I'm talking about at the end, like, hey, I can't lift my hands above my head, you know, so I can't really, I like a good hug. I can't hug you really like I would want to, but I sure do love a good hug. So people will come to the back table and they'll be like, yo, bro, you're so inspirational and I want to hug you, but I want to hug your wife first. Like, I want to meet your wife first. I want to shake her hand first. And it's because people want to know, bro, like the behind the scenes, like how, like it's the how, like how do you do it? Like, I have a husband, he's able-bodied, but he treats me like crap. He disrespects me, doesn't, you know, value me. So how do you guys make it happen? And you got all this extra stuff you got to deal with. And so I met my wife in corporate America. When I first moved from New York to Florida, I was on disability checks. And then I quickly realized that $863 a month wasn't going to cut it for me. And so I went and got a job, and it was at a timeshare company in the hospitality industry. I was there for 10 years, and that's where I met her. We were on the same team, and we had a group of friends we always used to hang out with, and we would go to the beach, we would go to each other's houses and play spades, we would go, you know, Monopoly, just games, just have fun, right? We were young, we were in our early 20s.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we went to the movie theater, and in Florida, they used to have Movie Co., where they had like the recline. It was like the first theater with the reclining seats. They had the upper level part. It was called the Premiere, where you can go up top, and it was like the VIP where you could eat, right? And so we would go to there and in a group. And one day, my boy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna lift you up and put you in the movie theater seat." And she was like, "No, I got him." And bro, when she grabbed me and she lifted me out of my scooter, at the time I used to use a scooter, and she lifted me up and put me in the chair, she did it with such grace, bro. Like, it almost felt like I was floating when she lifted me.
Wow.
And she did it with such ease. And in my head, I'm like, yo, this chick is strong. She could lift me up like that. Yo, let me find out, she might be the one.
Yeah.
And we just kind of kept hanging out. She kept helping me more.
At that moment, you felt something?
I felt
you
it,
were
bro.
like...
That was the moment I felt like, yo, this is crazy. Like, she's like 5'2", and she's lifting me up like nothing.
Wow.
And in my head, I was always thinking like, man, I'm going to need
And no girl had ever lifted you up or
not
helped
like that.
you before?
Not like that, no.
Wow.
I was actually married previous to her with my sons, with our youngest son's mother. We were young though, and again, that was like we divorced because she couldn't handle the responsibility, the lifestyle, the situation, and we were young. And I get it, right? It is what it is. But again, it goes back to thinking like, is a woman ever gonna love me like this? Like she left me.
That experience created the doubt,
Exactly.
and a belief that it might not ever happen to you.
Exactly. And now I'm meeting Andrea, and I'm like, is she gonna really love me, or is this gonna be temporary like the other one? Like, you know, like that type of train of thought. But anyway, bro, she stayed. She stayed around. She kept helping. She kept offering help, and we were just like growing as friends. We were literally we became best friends, bro. Like I liked her, and she I could tell she liked me, but we never felt like we wanted to cross that line until it was a Valentine's Day in 2002, and I got the balls and the bravery to be like, hey, you got a Valentine? No? You want to be my Valentine? Let's go on a date. And she was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And that was all she wrote, man. We went to Olive Garden. I remember we went to Olive Garden. That was
my boy got that soup, salad, breadsticks, dog. I used to be a server at Olive Garden, bro. That's what was my first real job.
Bro, that chicken and gnocchi soup, boy.
The chicken gnocchi,
that's
bro.
That's my favorite.
Oh, the zuppa toscana was for me, bro. The spicy.
But bro, you know how they give the little mints at the end?
Yeah, the chocolate mints.
Chocolate mints.
Oh, you had to be like, yo, give me some more of those.
So I had one left, bro, and she was like, oh, I wanted it. So I put it in my mouth, and I was like, you want it? You got to take it.
Hey!
And that was our first kiss, boy. That was our first kiss, boy.
Smooth.
Yeah, we was in the van. I put it in between my lips. I was like, if you want it, you got to come get it.
Damn.
And that was our first kiss, bro. And we've been making out ever since.
Sweeter than chocolate.
Sweeter than that was better than chocolate, boy.
Fresher than mint.
Exactly, bro. But bro, 17 years married this year, you know what I mean? And it's because, you know, we learned early on that, number one, we have to have Christ in the center, but we also learned that marriage is work, bro. Like anything else, you want to have a successful business, you got to work it. You want to have successful relationships, you got to work it. And so marriage is like anything else, you got to work it. And so we've learned how to talk through the good, the bad, and the ugly of our relationship, and the things that she was bringing to the table, I was bringing to the table, and we were able to talk and communicate it authentically and listen to each other, not just listen to rebuttal, but listen to understand each other. And we have a great relationship, bro. We talk about everything and anything. I'm telling you, like, our conversations get deep. We start laughing. We just we go on I'm like, yo, you got real deep with that right there. You know, we joke around about it, but we talk about everything. We have long conversations. Like, you know, when you first meet a girl, you have those long late night. Yeah. We still have those long late night.
You stay up on the phone, like, it's like, oh, babe, it's 3 a.m.
You hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Like, that type of
Bro,
thing.
bring those days
Yo,
back,
we do that
man.
now, but it's like, yo, babe, just be quiet because I want to go to sleep. And then I start talking, and I'm like, all right. Then she's like, yo, babe, just be quiet. I want to go to sleep. So it's like the same thing, but just now we're sleeping together, right?
Wow.
But yeah, man, you know, we understand that we got to communicate with each other. We have to talk about everything. And she's like, yo, I'm here, babe. Like when I met you, and I asked the questions in the beginning. I was always wondering, like, yo, what is it about me that you love? Like, I was still insecure about myself in the relationship. I'm like, what is it about me that you love? And you know what she told me, bro? That blew my mind. I didn't even understand it. She was like, you make me feel secure. And I'm like, secure? What do you mean you make me? I mean, I can't even fight nobody. Somebody try to get stuck. That's what I'm thinking. That's my first thought. Like, I can't fight nobody for you. Like, how do I make you feel safe and secure? That's what she said. You make me feel
bro,
safe.
Bro, you're gonna run over somebody with that wheelchair, bro?
Bro, I didn't understand what she meant. But what she meant was, when she started to explain it to me, was that you make me feel safe and secure by the way you treat me, by the way you provide for me and our kids. Right, because she had a son with a previous relationship. She wasn't married, but she had a son with. So my son was 2, her son was 3 when we first met, and we first started dating. To now they're 23 and 24. So we're the only parents that they basically know, right? You know what I mean? Because both of their parents were never in their lives, and so, you know, when we got together, we were talking about all of these different dynamics, and I was telling her, like, yo, babe, we just got to figure out how to make the things work when we going through our situations. And she's been there since day one, bro. We talk about it. We cried through it. We laughed through it. Even sometimes we're crying about something, then I'll say a joke and we start laughing and crying at the same time. It's crazy. But, you know, my wife, like I said, I feel like she's heaven sent. She's a gift from God to me, bro. Like, as a man, that's what we want. We want to, and, you know, we hear it said, like, the person that you choose to live the rest of your life with is going to be the deciding factor on whether you make it together or you like make you or break you type of thing. And so we have found the thing that works for us, and we make it work. And so she's there, bro. Like when other people, family members, friends, weren't around or weren't coming through, weren't checking in, she's there, bro. Like my own family, bro, like blood family that know what I'm going through, that knows what she goes through having to deal with me as their brother or their son or their, you know what I mean? You would think that people would be like, yo, let me come through, help you out a little bit, or let me come, let me cook a meal or something. But bro, we don't. It's just me and her, bro. Like you said, Bonnie and Clyde. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey.
Right? That 03 Bonnie and Clyde, Hove and B, holla, right?
You already know, bro.
And and I think we do so well with each other is because we were best friends in the beginning.
They say that's the best person to marry. It's your best friend.
It's the best.
Aside from values, principles and beliefs.
Yeah.
That's your best friend. That's your ride or die. You're going to be there till the end. And that's what it's about.
You know what's funny, bro? To kind of go a little deeper with your question about my wife, when I met my wife, she lived in a townhouse and she lived on the second floor. So it was like one of those type of things where you open the door and there was like a flight of 20 steps to go to the and that was the first level, right? That was the living level. Then there was a third floor on top of that. So bro, she would come to my house. Like I want you guys to picture this. And I talk about, we just finished writing a marriage book together, by the way, also. And it's going to be launching this year.
That's
but
cool.
I write about it in the book. Bro, I want you to envision this. She would come to my house, pick me up in my scooter, bear hug me, put me in my van, because I had a van at that time that I could no longer drive because my legs weren't working the way they should. She would lift me up, put me in the van, take my scooter, ride it up a wooden ramp into the back of the van, put the ramp in the car, close the ramp, and we would go to wherever we were going, whether it was the movie theater, the park, anywhere, right? The mall, grocery shop, like anywhere we went, that was the process. In with the ramp, out with the ramp. In with the ramp, out with the ramp. And so when we would go to her crib, she would piggyback me, bro, up the stairs to her apartment so we could watch a movie or she could cook a meal for me and just hang out, carry me back down, put me in the car, the whole scooter thing, take me to my house, take the scooter out, put me in my bed or the shower, then my bed, and then she would go to her mom's house because she lived at her mom's house at the time. I was living with my mom. She was living with her mom. And so that was the process we did for several years, bro. That's how I knew she was the one, because she was still there, still putting in the work that needed to be done, the care that needed to be done to help me and to care for me and to love me the way I was. And so that's why, bro, I do what I do, bro, because of the wife that God has blessed me with. I would not be doing her a service if I was to just lay back and be a regular dude, an average dude. God didn't call me to be average. God didn't call me to be regular. He said that we are a peculiar people, right? We're set apart. We're different. And so I needed to function in a different capacity to make sure that I can provide for my wife and my family. And to this day, bro, I've been providing for my wife and my family. And so that's when she said, you make me feel secure, that's what she meant.
Man, that was so good, brother.
Thank you,
that
bro.
was so good. That was powerful.
She's my superhero, bro.
That just goes to show, man, the power of having the right woman and of becoming the right man for that woman.
Exactly.
So together
bro.
you come together and rise to new heights.
Exactly.
Whew, man, that was
Stuff,
so
bro.
good, man. That was so good right there. And so now that you've spoken on stages, you've impacted, hundreds of thousands of people, you've lived your dream, you've written the books. How do you want to be remembered when you're no longer here?
Yeah, bro, that's a great question. And I talk about that, right? We talk about
legacy.
legacy, right? Like what's in between the dash is what you want to be known by, right? On the gravestone. And so, for me, I've gone through so much, bro. Like my parents divorced when I was 3. My biological father died when I was 10.
Wow.
I lose my ability to walk when I'm 22. I get divorced when I'm 24. Like I just felt like a loser, bro. Like I'm losing everything. I lost my parents. I lost my dad died. I lost my ability to walk. I lost my wife. You know what I mean? I just felt like I was losing in life, bro. Like a freaking loser. And it was tough, bro, because I'm like, dang, I'm a good person, right? You know what I mean? I'm a good person. I wasn't right quite there with the Lord like I should have been, but God knew that I was on track. You know what I mean? But I'm like, man, God, like, why is all this happening to me, man? Like, why do I gotta go through this, right? And I wear many hats. I do a lot of things now. I'm involved in so many things. I'm on advisory boards. I'm the chairman of the DEI board for the city that I live in. I'm on so many different boards. I'm a speaker. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a lay minister at church. I do so many things, bro. And I want people to remember me by, Jose was a lot of things, and Jose did a lot of things. But one thing that he didn't do was give up. And that's what I want to be known for when I die. Like, yo, that dude, bro, with everything he had going on in his life, with all the struggles and all the challenges and all the adversity, he never gave up. And on top of not giving up, he lived his life with a smile. Like this.
Hey, let's go. I won't stop. I won't quit. It's not over until I win.
I won't give up. I won't give in. And I won't stop until I win.
Let's go.
And I know you a Tony Robbins dude, so you got to say it with power and passion and conviction. You got to say it hard, like,
I love that. So hit it one more time.
I won't give up.
I won't give up.
I won't give in.
I won't give in.
And I won't stop until I win.
And I won't stop until I win.
But you see, you got to like change your voice a little bit at the end.
Yeah,
right? You got to
man.
change your voice and just,
Yeah, bro. Unleash the power within.
Yeah, bro.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
And anything that you'd like to share that we haven't covered that maybe would be valuable to the audience, a story, anything that you'd want to?
Man, I think you covered all the bases, But, if you want to connect with me and you own an organization or you throw conferences or summits or whatever the case may be, and you're looking for a powerful speaker who's definitely going to move your audience, who's definitely going to inspire and touch your audience and impact them to want to learn more, do more, and become more, because, again, you don't want to let the guy in the wheelchair beat you, definitely reach out to me. Yeah, you could definitely reach out to me. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you'll put it in the show notes, but I'm on any platform at Jose Inspires. The website is joseinspires.com. And you could check out what I have there. I have books, I have courses, I have masterminds. My wife and I, like I said, we just finished writing our book. We're going to be launching that, so stay tuned. If you're in a relationship, you may not even be married yet, but if you're married or you're in a relationship, you're engaged, or you just want to know what to look for when you're looking for that Mr. Right or that Mrs. Right, make sure you tune in, because we're going to be doing conferences, summits, seminars. We're going to be doing cruise retreats. I mean, my wife and I don't know about everybody else, but we love cruising, bro.
You love traveling, bro.
We love traveling, but cruising specifically. We like cruising. Next year, we're going to be doing a European cruise, and like, we want to make it an experience, bro. Like, we want to be able to
build that community, build other families, build other leaders.
Because we know, as brothers of faith, we know that the enemy comes to rob, kill, and destroy, and he comes at the head, right? So if he can break up a marriage, then he can break a family. Right? And so my wife and I believe very strongly in the marriage covenant and the marriage bond, that if we can help do what we can to help keep a marriage together and thrive, then we can help keep a family together. And brother, there's nothing stronger out there in the world than a strong family dynamic. When you have a strong, healthy family dynamic where both parents are present, where kids can see how parents love one another, respect one another, how they're supposed to treat one another, how they incorporate God into the family, there's nothing stronger than that, bro. And that's why there's so many broken families, because the enemy knows that if he can come in and break that up, then that family's done. Right? But if you can learn the strategies and the techniques and what the word of God says on a family dynamic family unit, and where you can create that and develop that so where that becomes unbreakable and unstoppable, bro, your family legacy, bro, like generational, bro, is going to be healthy, strong, and the attacks from the enemy will not be able to penetrate, because you've developed these things into your family dynamic.
Amen. I love the shift that you're going into now, solidifying those families, man, building generational wealth, healing generational wounds, and keeping the family unit together, because success begins in the home.
Absolutely,
and
bro.
You're a perfect example of that, man.
Absolutely,
you walk
bro.
the walk. You've experienced things that many people haven't, and with the circumstance that you have, to have had that success, like, God chose you to be the voice for those people, man. So
and
I appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you too, man. And I just want to, end with this too. When I was younger, I knew that I was always asking why, right? Like, why me? I was born like this. It wasn't like I had an accident or something happened and I ended up like this. I was born like this. So in my mind, I always felt like, man, you never even had a chance. Like, you didn't have a fresh start at life because you were born like this. So I always thought, like, man, God, why did you do this to me? Like, why do I have to go through this? Why are you allowing this in my life? And it wasn't that he was doing this to me, bro. I feel like he was doing it for me. because I know the life I lived in my past, like the guys I was hanging out with, I was in the streets doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. And I feel like, you know, he allowed this to happen to, number one, save my life, but number two, change my life. It's almost like Paul on the road to Damascus when he was killing Christians and God blinded him, and then he brought another Christian to him to give him the word of God, and he was like, bro, you want me to go to the guy who's killing Christians? He's going to kill me. And God used that dude to go and tell God the word. To go tell Paul the word, and then that's when the scales came off of Paul's eyes and he was transformed. And so God was able to transform me, bro. And I feel like he's allowed me to live like this. You know Nick Vujicic, right? No arms, no legs, like no limbs, no limits. Yeah. He said something that I heard one time, and it stuck with me, and it was so powerful. And he said that if I don't see the miracle here on earth, at least I can be a miracle for someone else. And I thought that was so powerful, bro. And I'm like, God, even if I don't get to see the miracle here on this side of the grave, I'm going to do whatever I can to be a miracle for somebody else. For that kid from Mississippi that I showed up and he didn't kill himself. You know,
Amen.
For that person that sees me in the grocery store and they see me smiling, doing shopping, and they get into my own car and drive away and they're like, wow, this guy's over here like that and he's doing his thing that I never even met or know, that I'll never know about. Right? God uses us in mysterious ways and does things in mysterious ways. So I just wanted to, let you and your audience know, man, encourage you guys that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, that God is good, God is faithful, and that this too shall pass if you're going through something. And just understand that, life is a journey, man, and we get to decide how we want that journey to be. We get to decide who we want to have in our journey, in our lives. And that's the beautiful thing, that God gave us free will. We can choose, we can decide who we want to be around us, who we want to be around, where we want to go, what we want to do, who we want to do it with. And so just make sure whatever it is that you're doing, that you make the right decisions and you seek God always. And I'll leave you guys with that.
Let's go, bro. So what I want you to do, look at your camera, look at mine, and then on 3, we'll hit them with the motto. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I won't give up. I won't give in, and I won't stop until I win.
Yeah,
let's go,
boy,
guys.
Let's go.
See you on the next one.